Good morning, Joy 1340 listeners. I am Officer Ralph McClain, the Milwaukee Police Department, the recruiter. I am with the Community Relations, Engagement, and Recruitment Division of the Milwaukee Police Department, and I'm here with my esteemed co-host.
Yes, sir. My name is Jordan Dickerson. I am one of the recruiters with the Milwaukee Fire and Police Commission, and we are back here with episode 17 of the conversation. I just said the number and I forgot which episode we were on. So, all right, we're back with episode 17 of the conversation.
We're moving right along here in this glorious year of 2024, and we are currently in the month of March, of course, which is National Women's History Month. But before we get to our guest, who was gracious enough to come to the studio today, we will like to say, as we usually do, that the Milwaukee Police Department is hiring. We are accepting applications on the City of Milwaukee Jobs website. We implore those who have thought about a career in law enforcement, but just never did for one reason or another, to go ahead and fill out that application and start yourself on this journey. We walk you through each step of the way, through all the processes that are entailed. You're free to contact us with any questions you have regarding the process itself, or maybe you know someone that has thought about a career in law enforcement, and now is the time. As they say, there's no better time than now.
Exactly.
And this is one of the most noblest careers you can get into, knowing that you're serving your community. So, again, we are hiring. I must put that out there.
Yep. And we do have a text number, too. So if you guys ever have any questions, just kind of want to get a little bit more interest or know a little bit more about the position. And that's not only for police, but, it is for firefighters and 911 telecommunicators. If you just have questions about, first responder positions, feel free to text 414-519-6190. You can text that number and, we will actually get back to you. We'll respond to you. It is myself and another recruiter who actually deals with that text line. So feel free to text us and, we'll most definitely respond and try to set something up for us to have a conversation.
Absolutely. And then without further ado, I would like to welcome to the conversation Lieutenant Kendria Donaldson. Lieutenant Kendria Donaldson started her journey as a fire cadet in September of 2013.
Can I stop you real quick?
Yes, you can.
Did you know? So you were the first female African-American fire cadet, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Look at that. We need that's what do you call it? The sound effect.
The hand clap.
Yeah,
That's pretty amazing.
Let's give her applause over that. Yeah. So Lieutenant Donaldson, started her journey as a fire cadet in September of 2013, and she started in the recruit class in 2015 and was in the field by November of that same year. She came on Engine 21, Med 6, spent a year there, then took a promotional exam. Is that correct? Took a promotional exam and was promoted in 2019 as a special lieutenant. And then she proceeded to take the position of fire lieutenant and was promoted in January of 2022. And she's currently stationed at Engine 28 on 30th at Clybourne. We welcome to the show and honor to have her, Lieutenant Kendria Donaldson. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. That was a great intro. That was better than I could have ever done for myself.
Like we said before, we talked about it being, Women's Month, and honestly, like I said, I couldn't think of a better guest to have, especially just to start it off.
Thank you.
You have just such a great personality, always bubbly and lively.
You noticed that too?
Yeah. So I think, I know the conversation that we have today are going to really bless some of the listeners out there.
What started, we always do ask our guests to go back to the beginning. And you are a Milwaukeean. You were born and raised here?
Yes.
In the great city of Milwaukee?
Yes.
What side of town?
I grew up on 12th and Atkinson.
12th and Atkinson, all right. What was life like for Kendria back on 12th and Atkinson during that time?
I loved it. My best friend lived down the street. We lived with my grandfather. Nothing too crazy. I didn't know that 53206 was an impoverished neighborhood like it is now, food desert. I was naive, green to all that stuff growing up, which was a blessing, obviously, to grow up and not know some of the struggles that you do have. But I was very grateful. I was in Chapter 220 program, so I got shipped to Brookfield. So Brookfield Elementary, Wisconsin Hills Middle School, Brookfield Central. And that was pretty much my life. Super active in school. If you know me, I did cheerleading. Same personality. Graduated in 2012, applied to Carroll University for nursing.
Okay.
Got lucky, did well on testing, got direct admin to the nursing program, so no petitioning, which was like my main concern. I talked to people about like going to the nursing program. And then you realize college is expensive, right? Like I didn't have that part figured out yet. I just knew I was gonna go. That's where you kind of like, school sets you up to, right? You're gonna go to college, they push the 4-year university, but that's as far as they go. They don't talk about, I guess, and maybe I wasn't paying attention, so I'm not gonna blame anyone else for my actions, but financial aid and the monthly responsibilities and living on campus and just surviving and all those other things. So
you ain't alone. You ain't alone in that. Right. I ain't hear about that either.
Right. So then I remember the cadet program was coming around. It was the second year. It was brought back in 2012. Chief Parrish was a big hand in that. He was also my captain when I went through it.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Yeah, we know that name.
Yep.
Yeah, we had him on the show. Great guest. Yeah.
And then 2013 came around and I applied, and I'm happy I did well on testing and I got in. And that was kind of like the beginning of this journey into the fire service.
So you started off in nursing, right?
Yes.
How did that transition come about for you to go from nursing to actually, getting in the field of firefighter? And I always say this, want to preface that a lot of people think that, that's a huge difference in the aspect of, wow, you're like deciding to go into burning buildings and stuff. But I know you always say, firefighters, a lot of their jobs isn't always just going into burning buildings. That's a big misconception. 80-something,
like 85%, I wish Parrish was here, he's a numbers guy, but like 85% of our calls are EMS. So that's the trouble breathing, shortness of breath, chest pain, any type of cardiac issue. Just delivered a baby last day at work.
Wow.
Super cool baby boy. That was like at 10 o'clock.
You delivered the baby?
Yeah. Well, I did it. The mother did. I'm giving mom's credit. The mother delivered the baby. I assist. But those are our calls that we go on. I was fortunate enough to be a paramedic. I love being a paramedic, so we do a little bit more as far as drugs given and all that stuff, but I love being a paramedic. I know nurses have to get a lot of standing orders from like their doctors and stuff, where all our standing orders are something that's already documented. So we're not really calling for a doc. We're kind of going off our protocols and SOGs that are already established. So it's a little bit more wiggle room kind of, in a way. But if you want to go, I wouldn't even push the whole nursing thing and all that stuff. I just would say, give it a try. Like I had no clue what the fire service was about at all. I knew that they went to fires. I didn't know what else they did, though. I didn't know they had special teams that did the dive and rescue. I didn't know that they had teams that does work with just chemicals. Like, let's say a high school adds too much chlorine to their pool. They're going to cause the hazmat team to come and balance that out. I had no clue about any of these different things, about what it's like what you're exposed to. If you're not exposed to anything in high school, you're not going to know what you're going to love or what you're going to like, because it's basically exposure. So if you're questioning anything about the fire service, join JFI, get these reps in, come to Camp Hero in June, do all these things and get your hands on the fire service side, EMS side, and police side, and see kind of what you like, what you don't like. You might go in thinking you're going to like the police, and you might fall in love with fire.
And that happens. It really does. And, it's great that you say, today's world, there's an advantage, right? Because you can research careers and occupations and everything. But there are programs that are with the fire department that allows you to come in, allow people to come in to experience what that is like. And then also you guys also do a great job of getting out there and informing the general public about what that entails, the job entails, because like you said, the majority of people will think that, that's just about running into buildings and this and that. And like, I don't know about if I want to do that. And they don't know all the other stuff that entails. So it's great that you get out that information like that.
Yeah, it's pretty
who was
dope.
Instrumental or when you were in high school, what was I know you mentioned nursing. Did you always want to do nursing? Was there some other career that you had your eye on?
No. It was always, I don't know.
Straight nursing.
Always nursing. Like, I've always Like, my grandfather was sick a lot, so we go to the hospital, and I was nosy. If you know me, I'm a PI, private investigator. I can find anything out.
You might as well come on over.
Right. I just be looking, diving or whatever. And I just always looking at medications and different procedures and different things. And I'm like, oh, I could do that. But I could do that. Like, I don't know. I was always like nursing. And like, I didn't know exactly what branch. Like, I was like, oh, I want to do some type of surgical thing. I wanted to do some type of outpatient thing, or I wanted to like specialize in cardiac. Like, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to go to school to be a doctor. I knew I didn't want to be in school that long. That's not for me. I knew that much, but it was always just like in that environment of with your hands and helping people and keeping that, what word is that? I can't even think, like that level where you still have communication with people. But I never wanted to get so, I feel like sometimes doctors are in or out, right?
Yeah. And
just like our high, at like third floor, we have to say promoted people or positions. They're so, their role changes. Like they lose that direct communication with people. Something I feel like why we all started. We love, well, sometimes like people and all that.
Right.
So
it's just that service aspect, right? And it's funny because when we had Chief Lipsy on here the other day, and I was talking to him, and this was before we got on air, just around the whole aspect of, okay, you start off as a firefighter, you're moving through the ranks. And he spoke about how he just loved the aspect of, you know, being in the firehouse and being in the fire engine and just like having that camaraderie and always kind of being in the field and knowing not only all the other firefighters, but, you know, being so close with the community. Yes. But he said, you know, as he moved up in the ranks, like, you know, he kind of lost it. It kind of splits in a certain direction. Like, you know, you kind of lose those ties. You're not always as close with the firefighters. You don't know every single firefighter anymore, and you kind of lose that aspect. But, you know, it goes to back to the whole point of, you know, you just wanted to kind of like serve other people in a sense, and that's what brought you to it.
Where did you get your energy and your passion as far as communicating with people? Because I know I see that's what it is. Even though you mentioned that nursing, you always knew that was going to be your path, you know, somehow. So that service-oriented type of energy, but also your personable personality.
My mom. I can call her right now. This is my mom.
Because I was wondering if that was just innate. Because some people say, yeah, I'm like that, and I'm just like that. But then there are other people that have examples. So that was your mom for
my
you?
My mom, if you think I'm like this, my mom is like times two. Really? My mom is super bubbly, super happy. Anything negative that happens, like, I'll give you an example. So I'm very big on birthdays. Other people's birthdays, my birthday, I just think it's one moment where you can show your value for that person.
True.
So this year for this birthday, I told everyone why I appreciated them. Which is people like, why'd you do that? I'm like, I don't know. People don't hear it enough. It makes them feel warm. Yeah. And I already feel warm because, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. But,
you did that on your birthday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like in the morning, because everyone's saying like good morning and stuff, but I'm just like going through like, I appreciate you for this. And I value you for this.
That's beautiful.
And thank you for being here, for dealing with me for this. And,
yeah.
You know what I mean? People don't really hear those good things sometimes.
They don't. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Because I kid you not, I was thinking that on my birthday.
Really?
Because I always think that, like, you know how you go out and people say, well, let me take you out for your birthday. I feel that the person that birthday it is, especially if those are around you are close, you should pay for their dinner or lunch or brunch because it's an appreciation of the ones you have in your life that are that you know that assist and that uplift you all the time. So it's showing an appreciation for your rotation around the sun. You know that they assist you, that they're there for you or whatever. So yeah, I'm there with you. I hear you.
And like when you know, like I have a good support system. Okay. Like I really do. Like I have amazing family. Like I have amazing friends. Like even coworkers and colleagues. Like I'm truly like happy, and it's crazy to say that because there's so much stuff going on in life right now. Like I wasn't always this happy. Like I probably whatever, but I'm truly happy, and it's just like I'm happy to be in this place.
Do you think about that on a daily basis? That do you consciously, right? Notice or are able to be present enough to notice that support system and that you're happy? Because, you know, sometimes you get into the busyness of life, right?
Just,
emotions.
And and then you lose that, and only far few in between occasions you think about that, you know. But do you think about that on a daily basis? Like, hey, I have this great support system, and
I think it's a little different though. Like I get checked every third day. Like when I go to work,
most
of these firehouses, they're not in an area that's the best area.
Okay.
We're all in impoverished areas. So every day when you go to work, you get checked and you're like, I'm complaining because my car, I got in an accident. My car got hit, but I have insurance and I'm paying a deductible. It's going to get fixed.
Right.
So on perspective of things, like I could be upset about that, but I wasn't injured. I wasn't killed and I didn't kill anyone else.
Right.
So it's just being like honest with yourself. Like that's an inconvenience that shouldn't ruin your day.
Yes. No doubt.
That's beautiful. I mean, it's all about the perspective, right? Because that's so oftentimes we can like overlook those things and we let our emotions get the best of us. And, you know, one bad thing happens.
Day's ruined.
And right. You know, we're all complaining. Now we're mad and we don't want nobody to talk to us.
We still got 23 more hours.
Right. Like, and I always say that often. I forgot where I hear this from, but when you wake up in the morning, you are gifted with the best gift you can ever get and ever receive, and that is the gift of life. God has blessed you with another day to be on this earth, and we take that so much for granted. And somebody asked a question. It was like, yeah, if somebody gave you $1 million today, how long would it take you for somebody to like, you know, make you mad or make you upset again? And they're like, oh, it'll take me quite a while. Like, you know, I got $1 million in the bank account. Like, why should I be mad if somebody, you know, cuts me off in traffic? And he's like, why don't we have that same perspective every single day when we wake up? Because the greatest gift that we receive every single day is a gift of life. But yet we allow the little small things on a daily basis just to get to us.
Absolutely.
It's like, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
So I do try to check myself. Like I do. And I have people around me that also like have very similar mindsets too. Like they'll be going through the toughest situations and they still continue to grind it out and figure it out. So like that's like the accountability system. I don't know.
I like that.
I like that a lot. I think we're hardwired sometimes as human beings, and it may be due to societal, you know, messages that we get, to where we love the novelty of something, the newness about whatever it is in the beginning, and then after that, it kind of gets stale.
Fades away.
And so we start to take it for granted. And we do that with almost everything.
That's so true.
You know, whether you get a new phone and then you're messing with all the functions inside of it and you're picking it up, and then after a while, it's just kind of, you just throw it around anywhere.
Yep.
You know, or whether it's a new car and you're washing it like every other day. And then after that, it's probably like every other week.
Right.
You know, after that, you're throwing wrappers in the back seat and you just kind of like don't care.
Yep.
You know, and even with life itself, you know, I always try to be present enough to look around me and enjoy, like, whether if it's raining, you know, so it doesn't have to be, the sun doesn't have to be shining. Just the air, the birds, even the sound of things, you know, the sound of children laughing, or, you know, people laughing, the small things, to just have gratitude, like you say, to be alive on a daily basis. And I think sometimes we miss that. And
it's hard.
It is hard.
Like we have this thing right here. I don't want everybody to see this. And I got this right here. Like, and don't forget the AirPods and the thing in my ear. Not right now, but like so many distractions that like, my biggest thing is like, I didn't grow up this way at all. Like my mom was, I never had a strict mom. My mom was always like, what do you want to do? Okay, we'll figure it out. Like, you want to be a ballerina today? Like, we're going to figure it out. Because it's me, my personality, like, I always have a new idea. If you know me, I always get a new idea. But I just felt like I do no TVs. Like, I don't watch TV in my bedroom. And I try to not be on my phone. And my, like, texting and stuff, I try to be, like, not on my phone. Because I like that space just for, like, that space.
Right.
Whether it's a good time or a bad time, it's just like that space.
Say that again. That space for that space.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because when you're on your TV, like, I don't know, you just get used to being on your TV. Now you up 2 hours past, and it's like a bad cycle. Then now you waking up tired. Yeah. Now you already behind the 8 ball, like getting yourself started on your phone. People gonna continue to text you.
Right.
Like your job isn't not to like tell them don't text me because I have no self control.
Right.
But maybe put that wind down time on so you don't get notified anymore.
That's all. Yeah. That's it. And
it feels for sure. I had to. That's what I learned. I'm 30 this year. I'm learning boundaries.
Well, also you talked about, I mean, you had to pick up on a pattern, right? Because you had to notice that, okay, man, I had this TV in my room. Now I'm constantly on my, watching TV, and then I wake up tired in the morning. But you have to be aware of that and notice that, okay, there's a certain pattern that I'm always waking up, tired. I'm always waking up groggy. Why is that? Go back to that pattern. Go back to the things that you're doing that you notice, okay, you see the end result, but what caused and what led up to it. But then you have to be cognizant and aware of those certain patterns.
It's hard, though.
Yeah, it is.
It is. You got to also be... Let's see, what's the word here? You also have to be resilient enough to stick with it when your old habits start tapping you.
Coming back up.
Like, why aren't you picking me up?
Yeah.
You notice it's like whatever message on my phone from whatever social media platform. Or,
Wind down. I'm telling you, Wind down was the best thing Apple did.
He got an Android. He don't know nothing.
That's funny.
But yeah, it's consciously saying, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to keep doing it because it becomes habitual if you do it enough. But it's getting to that point where it becomes a habit.
Yeah.
Because those in between stages, boy, that's hard.
It is.
It's hard. Yeah.
I kind of want to circle back to a topic that you talked about early on in the beginning, and that was just the kind of unknown aspect of not knowing all the aspect of firefighting, right?
Yes.
You didn't know about the dive team. You didn't know about hazmat. You know about all those things.
I knew nothing about nothing.
and I want to talk because it revolves around just the fear of the unknown.
Yes. How did
you overcome that in a sense of like you're not really sure what's going on?
That's not my strong suit. Like so this year, last year, was it last year or this year? Last year, I had the privilege of getting 30 under 30. It's like this new award.
Congratulations on that too.
Thank you. And Parrish did my speech for me, which is crazy because he's seen me develop from 19 to 29. Yes. So it's been 10 years. And he's like, Kendria, weakness was the fear of, this sounds bad, but I always had the idea of being perfect. And I had to realize no such thing as perfect. Yeah. So stop reaching for false expectations of yourself. That's not realistic. And then unknown. Like it kind of, I don't think I have anxiety, nothing like that, but it would get me anxious.
Right.
And that's what this job is like a hard thing for me some days because every day is different. Every day is the unknown. And that really that's hard.
How do you deal with that though? Because I mean, you dealt with it at a young age. Because I mean, you said you were into nursing and then you decided to jump into fire cadet, which I'm pretty sure you didn't really know what that was all going to lead you to.
It was rough. I'm not going to lie to you. If you could get my instructors, it was rough. It was really rough for me. Like, I'm not good at the unknown. Like, I'm a planner. You saw earlier when I was like, oh, I got this for you. Like, doom. Like, that's me. I'm trying to be better about just letting stuff flow and happen because why are you putting undue stress on yourself that you have no control over? Just kind of be present and be in the moment. But I'm not very good at the unknown. But I did, so everything that they told us, I overanalyzed and researched. So the cadet program is 2 years. Fire 1, EMT, hazmat, Spanish, we took anatomy. Now they do outreach for Boys and Girls Club. When I was there, we got to do Summerfest and do a Survival Live there. We got to do this thing called PSA where you went to schools for kids that were, so it's proven that if you grow up in an area with violence, if you've been, what is it called? Because MPD was involved in it too. You're more prone to having these incidents happen again.
Oh, yeah.
I can't think of the word for that. It was, I don't know, but they're working on that with children so they wouldn't be more prone to violence or whatever because they were already predisposed to it because of the situations they were in at this point. But all of those different things just kind of made me realize I'm never going to know everything that happens. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But just make sure that you have the, emotional intelligence and intellect that you can solve the problems. You don't have to know every answer. You don't have to know every outcome, but just know that you have the people and the resources to get to where you want to be. People have tons of resources for the fire cadet program or for the police aid program or dispatcher. You don't have to necessarily know how you're going to get there, but that's where you can reach out and get more information, more detail, do a ride-along, maybe do all these other opportunities that we have, and that's going to help you make the best choice for yourself because now you're making an educated decision.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. And then I also want to touch on, you start off as a fire cadet, of course, then firefighter, now you're a lieutenant. Yeah. Is that something that you already had preset in your mind that, okay, I want to continue to move up in the ranks? Or is that something that, you just kind of took step by step, day by day, and sure enough, you're like, you know what? I actually want to continue on and move forward in this field?
So my first thought when I was a fire cadet, I just wanted to get on the job. Well, I had very small goals. I just wanted to make it to
that's such a good thing that you just said that right there, that you have very small goals, because so many times we put these big expectations. We're always trying to get these big victories, and we talked about this before, but sometimes it's just those little small goals that you got to accomplish first.
And that was my first goal. If I got past cadet, I'm like, okay, it's going to be up here from here, uphill. And then recruit was more enjoyable for me. I needed cadet. I needed those 2 years to get myself together. I would never ever down the Minnesota make it smaller than what it is. I needed those 2 years to get myself together. Physically, mentally, everything.
Right.
I learned how to study all over again because high school studying and cadet studying are two different things.
Completely different.
Completely different. The recruit was more enjoyable because I already had the basis down, right? Like and that's 16 weeks. I already did 2 years.
Yeah.
16 weeks compared to 2 years, that's nothing. And then as far as taking a test, go promotional exam. So I went to this thing called like Writ Under Fire. And it's like in Champaign, Illinois, and it's like strictly firefighting and getting down victims out of burning buildings and rescuing your own members. And that's when I like fell in love with firefighting again because I was in the med unit for a while. So I wasn't going to take a test.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I had a different plan. I had a completely different plan. And then I talked to some people and they're just like, they helped me change my plan. So I'll put it like that. And then I'm like, at that point when I took special, I was on the med unit, but that's the most training I ever did for firefighting, I feel like, in the field. Like whether it was outside seminars, whether it was support from other members, whether it was in-house training, I feel like I had more control over my training path because I was a promoted person somewhat. And that's when I started falling in love on firefighting even more again. And then I took fire lieutenant and it was just like, I'm happy. I'm so happy.
It just bloomed from there.
It's been great. Like, I got to work with my best friend for a year. She's another female. So that was dope. I'm like, I get to work with my best friend on the heavy. Like, what else can I ask for?
Right.
Well, Lieutenant Donaldson, we thank you, first of all, for being an inspiration to other young ladies out there, other girls who may be considering a firefighter, nursing, or just overall just being successful. I think you are a inspiration is almost kind of like an understatement.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Because you see it in action. People feel it when they're around you. So that's one. But sometimes we have questions that we have, like questions of the show or the week, and I think we've gotten away from it a little bit.
We have. We've been so good. The conversation's been so good. We ain't been able to ask those questions.
But I think I'm going to bring it back this week for you.
Okay.
Especially with it being National Women's Month here. If you could have dinner with 3 women, it could be from history or even present, who would it be?
One would be my grandmother. She died when I was 2. And she impacted my mom so much. I just want to see that glimpse of like what that was like. I'm sorry, I got to do Sharon Purefoy. Sharon Purefoy.
Yep.
She's in North Carolina right now. We're going to go see her.
We wanted her on the show too.
Yes. She just has so many, like mentorship at so many levels, whether it was personal, whether it was relationship, whether it was work related, whether it's anything. I feel like she's a great source and she can always be logical and bring you back to center. That's a beautiful thing.
It is.
And never make you feel less than what you are, belittled or anything like that, because she's been through it. A third person. Harriet Tubman. I watched her documentary, and her willpower and her strength, I would like to think that I have that much, but I don't know. The water you can't swim got me. That one got me right there. And that faith, like having so much faith and trusting a woman's intuition.
Yeah.
I always talk about that, and people are like, but that's a powerful thing that I wish I could be able to just own. So I think those are the 3.
Those are good 3.
That's great 3. Lieutenant Donaldson, thank you for gracing us with your presence on the show today. We are honored to have you. Thank you so much and continued success in everything you do.
Thank you so much.
All right, y'all have a good one.
1340 listeners.
Yep. God bless.